The question is, how are you intentional about addressing math in your center activities? Let's talk about it. Take a look at this picture. When you look at the items, do you think math? Here we have just recycled material. We have boxes that were left over from some toys that received, probably Melissa and Doug boxes. These are great for sorting, to add to your manipulative center, to add to your blocks anywhere. You'll see children naturally sort using these boxes. These were from Target a while ago. Look at the fractions. I see 1/2, 1/4, ice cream cube, not ice cream, cube, ice cube trays. So much fun. Basically like 10 frames, right? You can create some games with these. These are printouts of graphs. This is a glove from the dollar store. I created little ducks. You do 5 little ducks went out one day. These activities right here are all math related. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 little ducks went out one day. 4 little ducks went out one day. Bingo. Think about bingo being a math activity. How many claps do you take? This is a visual as you do it. So you have one clap, I-N-G-O, clap, I-N-G-O, and then the next page, 2 claps. How many claps do? We do 2. N-G-O and bingo. What's his name-o? These are potato chip clips, 5 little monkeys swinging in a tree. Teasing Mr. Alligator, can't catch me. These are fun little activities. And these playing cards, they come in so many different shapes and sizes. Again, those come from the dollar store as well. All right, so let's move on and let's see what else we can discover. All right, when you look at this page, do you see math? Typically, probably you do because of the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're identifying numbers here. And then you're also seeing dice, you're seeing dominoes, you're seeing hands. This is called subitizing. If a child can see that a dice has 4 spots and not have to count, now initially they'll have to count. They'll have to use their finger and count each dot. And then your question is, how many were on that dot, on that dice, or the die? And they'll say 4. That's a skill. If they see 3 and they see 3 without counting, that's a skill. That's called subitizing. If they see 3 in a 10 frame and they don't have to count, that's where you want to get. Now it's okay to back it up. To simplify it would be for them to use one-to-one correspondence and count each dot that they see in the 10 frame, or count each finger that they see. How many did you count? And they have to tell you the ending number, right? I see 3 fingers. So that's math. This was on the internet somewhere, free, that we could print off. I only use the numbers 1 through 5. Anything more than that, we really want them to have a full, good grasp, understanding of the numbers 1 through 5. Just because children can count to 100 doesn't mean they understand the foundation of skills of how different ways they can make 5. How many ways can you make 5? How many ways can you make 3? How many ways? Start small and then build up. Once they understand 1 through 5 really well, then you can move up to 1 through 10. 1 through 10 in kindergarten, that's a skill in kindergarten, 1 through 10. Pre-K, 1 through 5. These are dollar store mittens that were playing cards. They were so cute, and it fits so well into the book The Mitten by Jan Brett that I'd read in the fall, in the winter time. So we made a memory game of these mittens. They're so cute. 1 through 5 again. So they have to match and find the 2 1s and the 2 2s, that type of thing. All right, let's move on. All right, let's think about your center activities, how you are intentional about addressing math with your words, with your questions, with the material you add to the centers. How are you intentionally planning for math in your centers? Here are some ways some teachers that I observe address math. So let's talk about measuring. This teacher had the children write their name. So there's their literacy. They wrote their name and then how tall they were. And then they measured how tall, and they could see visually who was tallest, who was shortest. So there's that math language. And then it would be so fun to do this again at the middle of the year and then maybe at the end of the year to see how much the children grew. This was a tower that these children built. They worked together collaboratively. This is not too tall. If you're a teacher that says, whoa, that's too tall, that's going to fall, you're going to get hurt, they're not going to get hurt. It's okay. I want you to really allow your children to express themselves in their building. Look at the balance that this is having. So just that alone with the math is one thing, but they were measuring against themselves and to see if they could make it taller. Now, if you're worried about safety, then teach them about safety and that it might fall over. So maybe we stand back so in case it does fall over that we don't get hurt. But don't encourage them not to build tall because you're afraid of them getting hurt. It's not going to do too much damage. It's going to sting if it falls. I get that. It'll fall on their feet, but it's okay. This was a print off, and this is how this teacher used dinosaurs or topic of dinosaurs, and they used Unifix cubes to measure the dinosaurs. Okay, that's intentionally added in center activities. Okay, here are some ways that children naturally do patterning and sorting through their play. This child right here, we were talking about patterns. She made a pattern with her blocks, her cardboard blocks. Again, look, she's only probably, not as shorter than this block tower, but again, cardboard blocks, they're not going to hurt her. Allow your children to stretch and try to get it as tall as they can. But talking about about patterns, I would say, Angie, tell me about your tower that you built. And she was so proud and she said, red, red, blue, red, red, blue. Oh, what is that called when it's red, red, blue like that? That's called a pattern. Yes, you made a pattern. And then other children came over to talk about it and see the pattern that she made. You could also do long, long, short, long, long, short as far as the block sizes. These children here are sorting. So I would use questioning, come over to say, and you notice there's 4 children playing at this very small table. Again, it's okay if 4 children play at one time. But my question was, oh, tell me about what you're doing. I see piles of dinosaurs. Tell me about your dinosaurs. And this child over here said, these are the same dinosaurs. And the child over here that had, I don't know what those are called, Stegosaurus, or they're not the T-Rex. I'm sorry, I don't know my dinosaurs well, but said these all have long necks, so we put them together. Now, are there patterns or anything specific in these other groups? Maybe not that they can identify, but they are starting to sort, and I can bring that to their attention. You put the ones that are the same together, the same type of dinosaur. You sorted these dinosaurs. This third picture here, I want you to note too that this child sorted by color. Oh, tell me about your dinosaurs. I sorted, this is red, this is blue, green. And then I can ask those questions. Oh, which color has more? Which color has less? To talk about that math. The other thing I want to note here is this child's playing on the floor. And that's okay too. Let them play on the floor. It's not on a table, and that's okay. Let them play on the floor. All right, here we are in dramatic play. Take a look at this picture. Pause this if you want to really take a look at it. Look at the picture. What math do you automatically see in this picture? Maybe small, medium, and large with the cups and the French fries. One-to-one correspondence with the muffin tin. Maybe the shapes of the triangles with the pizza. Fractions. 1 is missing out of 6. Subtraction, maybe a word story. We had 6 slices of pizza. We ate 1. How many are left? All right, now that's just the math. Think about the literacy and the environmental print with the McDonald's logo, the Folgers coffee can logo, the pizza box that's either Domino's or Papa John's, I'm not sure which. That's phonological awareness. This teacher was intentional about the items she added in dramatic play to address math. So when we talk about center activities, and how we are addressing literacy and math in these centers, this is a perfect example. And the children will play here and have complex play, and they'll use language and they'll talk to each other, they'll take orders, they will have the best time in here. And all you have to do as a teacher is one, pose a question now and then. You know, if you see that they need help socially or um, with conflict, you can help them through that. But you can also pose the questions of the story word. Oh, I notice we have a full pizza. Two friends are eating pizza. How many slices do we have left? Or how many? I see we have four left. How many children could we add or invite into our pizza party? You know, whatever you want to say. But then you just step back and observe. Observe the children in the play. Listen for the language. Listen for what they can do. All of these examples are authentic assessment. You don't have to pull the child aside to say, okay, tell me what you know about small, medium, and large. You can listen to them playing and know what they know about small, medium, and large. Think about the blocks with the patterns. I don't have to pull a child over and say, okay, can you make a pattern out of these blocks? She made it authentically. I just have to be aware of my standards of what I'm looking for, the standards, the goals, the objectives, and make notes of what the children are doing, what they're saying. If they're not taking it in a direction you need for recording, for anecdotal notes, or for your assessment data, then pose the question. But you don't have to interrupt their play to see it and to direct them, is what I'm trying to say. But this is amazing. This is the intentionality of adding standards and objectives into your already activities, your dramatic play, your blocks, your manipulatives, to increase the interest in children using those materials. So take a few minutes, look around your room, reflect on your areas, on your centers. What materials have you added to intentionally engage the children in math activities? There are activities that are required. There are puzzles, there are manipulatives, but how are you using them to really engage children in play in a way that really sparks them naturally to want to play, to want to play games, or use a spinner or roll a die, count that number, move that many spaces. Really think about your math and how intentional you are about addressing math within your classroom.